Good morning, my dear students. I am Jitin, your social science teacher. I hope all of you are fine. I welcome you all to the online classes of social science. Study well and be safe at home. We had completed the 12th chapter and today we will see the 13th chapter of our social science textbook, that is A Shelter So High. What do you mean by a shelter? A shelter means a home or a house. So a shelter so high means a house or a home which is at a higher place. This is the story of Gaurav Jani and Loner. Who is Gaurav Jani? Don't you say a man in the picture? He is Gaurav Jani. And who is this Loner? There is a bike with Gaurav Jani, no? That bike is Loner. This Gaurav Jani is a person from Mumbai and he has a bike named Loner. This is their story. Gaurav Jani is going from Mumbai to Leh. Gaurav Jani is from Mumbai. Where is this Mumbai? Mumbai is in the state of Maharashtra. And where is this Leh? Leh is in the Union Territory of Ladakh. Do you know where Ladakh is? Ladakh is in the northernmost part of India, near Jammu Kashmir. This Leh is in the Ladakh, and Gaurav Jani is going from Mumbai to Leh. This is the travel story of Gaurav Jani from Mumbai to Leh. Let's read his story. A traveler's tale. Tale means story. So traveler's tale means traveler's story. I am Gaurav Jani and this is Loner, my partner, my motorcycle. So the traveler is Gaurav Jani and he is traveling by his partner, that is Loner. Loner is his motorcycle. But Loner is never lonely, we are together all the time. I and my motorcycle wait for a chance to get away from the busy, crowded and noisy city of Mumbai. We like to travel to different parts of this wonderful country. Let me tell you about our amazing journey on the highest roads in India. So, Gaurav Jani is from Mumbai. What is the specialty of city life? Mumbai is a city, no? Is there any specialty for city life? Yes. Gaurav Jani is saying that city life is busy, city life is crowded, and city life is noisy. So, Gaurav Jani wanted to escape from the busy, crowded, and noisy city life, and he wanted to go somewhere else. So he is traveling by his motorcycle Loner and he went somewhere else. Let us read where he went. Getting ready. This journey took about 2 months. I had to carry everything on my motorcycle. I had to plan and collect all the things I needed. I packed a small tent, sleeping bag, plastic sheet, warm clothes, and food that would remain fresh for some days. I also took my camera and extra cans for petrol. Loner and I left Mumbai, passing through the small villages and towns of Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Rajasthan to reach Delhi. Now listen. Gaurav Jani with his motorcycle Loner is going for a trip. Before going for a trip, we should plan now. So Gaurav Jani is also planning. He is packing some things. What all things did he pack? He packed a small tent, sleeping bag, plastic sheet, warm clothes, and food. He also took his camera and he took extra cans for petrol because on the way Gaurav Jani needs petrol, no? Petrol will finish, so he took extra cans for petrol. And Loner and Gaurav Jani left Mumbai. They left Mumbai, passing through small villages and towns of Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Rajasthan to reach Delhi. So listen, in the beginning, they are going to Delhi. They are going to Delhi, and after reaching Delhi, they may plan something else. So, first they are going to Delhi, and for reaching Delhi, They have to travel through the small villages and towns of Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Rajasthan. We continue. It took me 3 days to cover 1400 kilometers from Mumbai to Delhi. I was hoping to see something new and different in Delhi, but Delhi looked just like Mumbai. I am tired of looking at the same kinds of houses made of cement, bricks, glass, and steel. I was looking forward to my journey ahead. I was excited that I would be able to see wooden houses, houses with sloping roofs, and those covered with snow. I had seen pictures of such houses in many books. Now listen to me. Mumbai is 1400 kilometers away from Delhi. That means Delhi is 1400 kilometers away from Mumbai. Gaurav Jani is traveling from Mumbai, so he has to travel 1400 kilometers. He traveled 1400 kilometers and reached Delhi after 3 days. After reaching Delhi, Gaurav Jani wanted to see something different. He wanted to see something different from Mumbai because Mumbai is a city, Delhi is also a city, and he wanted something different, but he did not see anything different. Why? Why did he want something different? Because he was tired of looking at the same kinds of houses made of cement, bricks, glass, and steel. Gaurav Jani wanted something different. Gaurav Jani wanted to see different houses. He was always seeing houses made of cement, bricks, glass, and steel. And after reaching Delhi, he wanted to see different houses, but he could not see because Delhi is also a city and there was nothing different from Mumbai. But Gaurav Jani had a hope that he could see wooden houses, houses with sloping roofs, and those covered with snow in the place to where he goes. So Gaurav Jani is not stopping at Delhi, he is going to some other places. And while reaching those places, Gaurav Jani was sure that he could see wooden houses, houses with sloping roofs, and those covered with snow. Now, do you have any idea? Listen to me. One thing is sure, the place where he goes is very exciting. Wooden houses, houses with sloping roofs, and snow covered roofs will be there. We continue. I packed more things in Delhi and continued. In 2 days, we were in Manali. It was so refreshing to be in the mountains and breathe the clean air. Now, the real journey was to begin. We had to travel through difficult roads of the state of Jammu and Kashmir to reach Leh in Ladakh. Now listen. Before leaving Delhi, Gaurav Jani packed some more things and he continued his journey. After 2 days of journey, he reached Manali. Where is this Manali? Have you heard of Manali? Manali is a famous place for bike travelers. Manali is in the state of Himachal Pradesh. And after 2 days, he reached Manali. At Manali, Gaurav Jani was very happy. Why? Because the air in Manali was so refreshing and it was very clean. And do you know the specialty of Mount Manali? Manali is very rich in mountains. There are so many mountains in Manali. And Gaurav Jani was very excited. And after reaching Manali, he was very happy that his real journey was beginning then. Do you understand? This is not the real journey. The real journey is only beginning. The place to where he goes is Leh. Is Leh in Ladakh. Ladakh is a union territory of India. Ladakh is near to the union territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Ladakh is in the northernmost part of India. And Ladakh is the union territory of Leh. Leh is a district in Ladakh. Leh is a place in Ladakh. Leh is the place to where Gaurav Jani goes. Now there are some activities for you. Do you see find out? You have to find out these three things. Anyway, I will give you the notes, but you have to find them out. Continue. New home. Loner and I were covering long distances each day. All I needed was food and a tent to protect myself from the cold night air. My nylon tent was so small that I could just about fit in it to sleep. Loner stood guard outside the tent. The breeze and the sound of the birds woke me up to see the sunrise. Now listen, Gaurav Jani and Loner. Gaurav Jani is traveling by his bike, Loner no. Gaurav Jani and Loner had to travel long distances each day. And Gaurav Jani wanted enough food and he wanted to protect himself from the cold night air, and he took his tent for that. His nylon tent was very small and he could only just fit in it. Why? Why was it very small? Because he wanted to protect himself from the scorching cold. He was inside his tent and his bullet or his bike. Loner was outside the tent. They were sleeping very well. He was sleeping, and the breeze of the valley and the sound of the birds woke him to see the sunrise. He slept at night, and by listening the sound of the breeze and the sound of the birds, he woke up in the morning. There are some questions to you. You have to ask it to yourself and you have to answer it to yourself. Anyway, we continue. Cold desert. At last, Loner and I reached Leh. For the first time, I saw such an area, high, dry, and flat, called a cold desert. Ladakh gets very little rainfall. Here, there are high snow-capped mountains and a cold, flat ground. In Leh, I found myself in a quiet street with beautiful white houses. As I rode slowly, I found that I was being followed by a group of children. They called out Jule, Jule, meaning welcome, welcome. They were all amazed to see my Loner. Everyone wanted me to come to their home. Now listen. From Manali, he continued his journey, and finally Gaurav Jani with his companion Loner reached the cold desert of Leh. Do you listen here? Cold desert. Deserts are usually hot, deserts are usually warm, but this desert is cold because the temperature there is cold, but it is still a desert. Then what is the meaning of desert? Desert means there are only very few living things in it. That is the meaning of a desert, and this cold desert also has very few living things in it. Very few human beings, very few animals, very few birds, and very few plants. And it is cold, and it is called a cold desert. At last, Gaurav Jani and his Loner reached the cold desert of Leh. And he is mentioning some features of the cold desert of Leh. It is very high, it is dry, and it is flat. Gaurav Jani is seeing such a place for the first time. Then it is written here, Ladakh gets very little rainfall. Do you see? This Leh is in the union territory of Ladakh. Leh is the union territory of Ladakh, and Ladakh gets very little rainfall. So Ladakh is a dry area. Then what is the other specialty of Leh or Ladakh? There are high snow-capped mountains and a cold flat ground. The ground is cold and the ground is flat, but the mountains are snow-capped. Snow-capped means there is snow on the top of the mountains looking as a cap. Did you understand? Anyway, look here. After reaching Leh, he found himself in a quiet street. Quiet means silent, or there is no one. So at Leh, he found himself in a quiet street with beautiful white houses. Why are the houses white? Because there will be snowfall. There will be snow on the roof of the ground, and the color of the snow is white, and the houses will be white houses. Then he rode his bike slowly, and he was followed by a group of children. He was followed by a group of children, and the children were calling Jule Jule, meaning welcome, welcome. The children were welcoming Gaurav Jani, and the children were amazed. The children were wondered by seeing the bike of Gaurav Jani, that is loner, and all children welcomed Gaurav Jani to their houses, and he wanted to go to all of their home. We continue. At home with Tashi. Tashi dragged me to his home. It was a building with 2 floors. The house was made of stones, which were kept one over the other. The walls were coated with a thick layer of mud and lime. The house looked like a shed from inside, with a lot of hay stored there. We took the wooden steps and reached the first floor. This is where we stay, explained Tashi. The ground floor is for our animals and for storing necessary things. Sometimes, when it gets too cold, we also move downstairs. I noticed that the ground floor had no windows. Thick tree trunks were used to make the roof strong. Now listen to me. Gaurav Jani was followed by many children. Tashi was one among the children. All children welcomed Gaurav Jani to their home. Tashi also welcomed, and Gaurav Jani went to the home of Tashi. And here it is written the specialities of Tashi's home. You can understand the Tashi's home had 2 floors. There were 2 floors for Tashi's home. The home was built with stones, and the ground floor was for animals and to store the food items or other items. Tashi and his parents were staying in the first floor. But when it is extremely cold, if it is too much cold, Tashi and his parents would come to the ground floor. And what is the specialty of the ground floor? The ground floor has no windows. There is no ventilation, and the temperature can be maintained. So Tashi and his parents used to stay in the ground floor during the cold season. We continue. Tashi then took me to the roof of his house. What a view! I could see the same flat roofs all around. On some red chilies were laid out to dry, and on some there were orange pumpkins and golden yellow corn. Some had stacks of paddy, and on some cow dung cakes were laid out to dry. This is the most important part of our house, said Tashi. During summer season, we dry many fruits and vegetables. We store them for winters when we do not get fresh fruits and vegetables. As I stood there with Tashi, I could see how every part of the house was built specially to suit the needs of his people. I could understand how the thick walls, a wooden floor, and a wooden ceiling protected them from the cold. Now listen. Tashi took Gaurav Jani to the most special part of his home. And which is that special part? That is the roof of his house. And what is the specialty of the roof? During the summer season, the parents of Tashi used to dry fresh fruits and vegetables for the winter, because during winter they may not get fresh fruits and vegetables, and they dried out fresh fruits and vegetables during the summer season, and they stored for the winter. And that is the most special part of their house, and that is the specialty of the roof. And Gaurav Jani saw how their house was built, especially to suit the needs of the people. Gaurav Jani understood the thick walls, a wooden floor, and a wooden ceiling protected them from the cold, because during the winter it is extremely cold, and Gaurav Jani saw himself the thick walls, the wooden floor, and the wooden ceiling, and understood that these things protected them from the cold. Now there are some questions for you. Read it and write on your notebook. Okay, students, read until where I taught and try to understand what is written in the textbook. Do the activities mentioned in the textbook. We will continue the remaining portion in the next class. Thank you.